Hi everybody, MVP here, and welcome. Just want to give you an overview of the market. The weekend in, I think it was the 15th or the 16th of September last week. Just an idea of what the world did, what the global Forex markets did through the eyes of the FX correlator. The FX correlator, which, as you've probably seen from my video channel here and from my Trade to Win site, is my strength meter system that assists me in trading in many ways. So let's have a run through and just see what happened this week. By the way, this service will shortly be, unfortunately, moving off of YouTube and some of the other free sites. I am moving to my VIP premium forum, which is available. You need to go to my website, fxcorrelator.com, and you'll get more details there. But a lot of this information will be now moving there, I'm afraid, for my paying customers. But anyway, feel free to enjoy this particular video. Okay, let's have a look at last week. This is a 4-hour chart, okay? This is an FX correlator. It's on a 500 setting, 500 setting. That gives you more of an idea of the free flow movement of all the 8 currencies here that you can see. And you can see which currency they were here by the colors, okay? Really very simple the way this works at these kind of settings. This is actually the start of the week, okay? So if you were to, for example, put a simple bar here, and this is, say, the start of the week. This is for the yellow yen. If you look through the line here, you'll see whether it finished higher or lower than the start of the week. So obviously the yen was just a slight faller this year, or this last week, for example. And as you run down here, you can see each one of these, and it gives you an idea of who were the winners and who were the losers in the week. So let's very quickly run through the winners and losers and some of the reasons why. Okay, let's start with the winners in the week. I'm just going to drop this bar down. I'm going to drop it down to a certain royal blue character there, which is the euro. The euro was predominantly the winner in the week. Had a great week based on previous weeks. I think if we switch back, let's drag that back. The week before wasn't too clever, was it? And the week before that was a disaster. Can you see that? A couple of very bad weeks for the euro because obviously, surprise, surprise, of the euro crisis and everything that's going on affecting the split up or the potential split up of the euro and some of the more disastrous countries that are not helping things like Greece, for example, which is going through literally a default at this moment. However, this week, because even more news was made by the central bank there, saying that they would support all of the currencies, they would support all of the countries to the hilt. Again, it was pretty good news for the euro, so the euro went up, as you can see here, and it made money against most currencies. Another currency that did relatively well here, this in grey, that's the Swiss franc. The reason the Swiss franc did relatively well in the week was actually because it is being pegged currently to the euro. So looking here, that was why it was probably running relatively close to the euro as those guys watch that 120 mark and try to stay as close as they can to it. Apart from that, fairly good week here. This is brown. This is the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar had a good week. Didn't do too badly at all. And I think that was pretty much it. We had about 3 currencies there that did relatively well. If you look across to the left here, this is the US 30. This is the famous Dow, the mighty Dow as they call it, the US equities market, one of the big indexes there. And this is the start of the week, coming in about the 9th, 10th. And as you can see, great week for the Dow, great week for equities there in the US. They had a great run. Again, generally when you see the market like this moving, it would generally tend to suppress certain currencies that we'll talk about in a minute and assist others. Things like, for example, the euro should have a good run on that, but also certain others should have a good run when equities run high, and they didn't. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's switch back anyway here to the central chart, the 4-hour chart, and let's have a look and see where the losers were this week. Okay, big bad losers. Okay, as you can see here, starting on this side here, this is orange, and this is the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, not a good week actually, very poor week. People obviously coming off of some very good performances in the prior week. You see how last week it went up and it's come all the way down. It's given all its pips back across all those other currencies. So what goes up must come down sometimes. So the Aussie dollar had a relatively bad week. In fact, other currencies that did fairly poorly. This is the red. This is the big bad pound, the GB pound. That's my home country. Bad week actually. We didn't have we had some fairly poor results come out through the week. Didn't help. Yeah, sure, austerity measures, but the market is very forgetful of things. One week you can be a hero for doing that. The next week you can, the markets are fickle. They will turn to whatever's doing well, and they will, desert currencies that previously have been doing relatively well. Again, if you look back, fairly flat week the week before, and actually it was a fairly poor week the week before that for the pound. So the pound generally over the last 2 or 3 weeks hasn't been doing that well at all. So poor week for my home country, so I won't be going on holiday soon, and if I do, it's going to cost me a lot more, especially if I go to Switzerland again. So let's not go there, guys. Can we do better next week? Please, please, please. I need some more holiday money. Apart from that, let's just have a quick look at the also-rans. Who haven't I talked about? I haven't talked about the New Zealand dollar. Now, the New Zealand dollar is interesting. It's actually held this week. Normally, that is much more volatile than its Aussie brother, the Aussie D. And I would have half expected that to be absolutely through the floor here, but it didn't. It held, so full marks to the New Zealand dollar crew. This is the US dollar in green, the greenback. Flat to falling week. Nothing too much going on. I mean, I actually expected to see more support for the dollar this week because people are running out of currencies to buy. You can't go to the Swissy, obviously, because they keep dumping it. You go to the yen, but again, that government is notoriously bad at dumping currency. So you thought the dollar would do better this week, but it didn't. Having said that, if you look across here and see that equities were dramatically rising through the week, that will normally suppress to send the dollar south, so probably more the reason. Again, up to the yen, and the yen flat to falling week. Again, probably on the base of it, probably because equities did so well. Okay, and you've got unwinds of carry trades there, or actually carry trades going on, which is where you sell things like the yen and you buy equities. So that was pretty much the week on the currencies. That's what happened, and we'll see what next week brings, as usual. Okay, last but not least, we're going to take a quick run through the FX Correlator 80/20 system. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, then please go to my Trade to Win site or come to fx.correlator.com and I'll show you what this can do. This is my system. And again, fairly good week, and I'm just going to quickly talk you through it now. Okay, I've switched to hourly charts now. This is the hour, day by day, last week, and as you can see, as we've already seen, the Dow had a very, very good week. It came in, started off in the Asian overnights on Monday, fairly poorly, and then it just picked up all through the week. What a great week. That was a buying week. That was about 10.8. Up to 11.5. Great run through the week, eh? And that was obviously a major influence in driving some of the performance of some of the currencies. In terms of the 80/20 system, when the Dow is flying north, I tend to be keeping an eye out for my green US dollar and my yellow yen to be below this dotted line here on two charts. This is the 80 moving average, this is the 20. And having said that, because the system is a fairly straightforward system, it's fairly solid and ploddy, it doesn't race around, it didn't really get excited about things until Thursday. Can you see Thursday here, where finally we got the dollar and the yen below the zero here, and we certainly had already had it there on the 20, and then on Thursday it really hit. This was probably early London, I think. Let's have a look. London trading session, if this will come up, about 7, 8 o'clock. Yeah, so early London. Over here, it was a fantastic day on the Dow for 2 days running, and that's when we started to get money, and that's when we made some serious money buying into things like the euro. Not much else actually came through that I would have picked up on. There was also a little bit of Swissy action there, surprisingly, because the Swissy is being pegged to the euro at the moment. So that was good. And then on Thursday, Friday again, we had some nice moves through the night where the Aussie D pulled in. And then later on in the day, right towards the end of the day, a few last moves there and a great move on the CAD. Again, difficult to see here, but believe me, it was happening. Come to my site, come to Trade to Win, and I'll show you how to trade this. Okay, that's pretty much it, guys. I didn't want to spend too much time. I hope to see you at my website and also my private VIP forum, where you can learn more about this system and how to make money with it. But as for now, this is MVP signing off. We may or may not talk again on YouTube, but I wish you all the best in your future trading. All the best, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.